I paid for my daughter's college, wedding, and first house. Then she said, "You're holding us back. Retirement homes are a thing for a reason." Her husband laughed. "Sell her jewelry. Use that for the down payment." I pretended not to hear them as they whispered and Googled facilities. But I called someone who owed me a favor, a notary. 2 days later, the deed on this house said something very different, and I let them read it after dinner. While I did the dishes, I'm a 62-year-old woman. I live in Plano, Texas. I've lived here my whole life. My story isn't special. I worked, I raised a daughter, and I sacrificed everything to give her the kind of life I never had. And now I'm writing this because the one person I thought I could count on, the person I built my life around, thinks I'm disposable. I grew up poor. Trailer park, powdered milk, no dental visits kind of poor. By the time I was 15, I already knew I wasn't going to college. I got my GED and went straight to work. First it was waitressing, then bookkeeping, and eventually, after enough on-the-job learning, I landed a full-time position in a medical billing office. When I got pregnant at 24, I thought I was finally building something that looked like a family. Her father was a mechanic, quiet, distant. When Rebecca was 8, he left. No warning, no note, just gone. Never paid child support, never called. So I raised her alone. I never remarried. That's not some sad story. I made peace with it. My life was about her. I packed lunches, did late-night laundry, and took on cleaning jobs after my full-time shift just to make enough. I skipped vacations, holidays, new clothes, new cars. I'd shop clearance racks and clip coupons and make casseroles stretch 3 days. I'd tell her we were just being smart with money. But really, I just wanted her to never feel poor. When she got into UT Austin, I cried in the car. Not in front of her. I waited until I was alone. I'd been saving for years, every birthday check and tax refund. No loans. I paid the full 4 years, tuition, dorm, books, even her car insurance. She graduated debt-free. She had no idea how rare that is. And when she got engaged at 26, I gave her the last thing of real value I owned. My mother's diamond earrings. Vintage cut, platinum setting. She cried when I handed them to her. Said she'd wear them down the aisle. She didn't. She had them melted down and made into her wedding band. I only found that out later. The wedding was a full-scale event. Open bar, fancy venue, catered buffet. Kyle's parents chipped in $5,000. I paid for the rest. It cost me over $40,000. I drained my savings. I told myself it was worth it. They bought a house in McKinney a year later. Or rather, they wanted to. Their credit wasn't great, and they didn't have enough for a down payment. I had just retired, finally. I wasn't rich, but I had a few CDs and a modest pension. I offered to help. I put down $90,000. The house was put in all our names, me, Kyle, and Rebecca. I was told it was for legal reasons. I didn't argue. I just wanted to help. For a while, things were good. I'd go over once a week. Sunday dinners. I'd bring lasagna. They'd pour me a glass of wine. We'd sit and talk. It felt like a family. Then the visits became less frequent. I'd text, and sometimes she wouldn't answer. I chalked it up to being busy. They both worked. I figured they were just overwhelmed. Then came the fall. I slipped on black ice outside my apartment complex. Broke my wrist and hit my head. I called Rebecca from the ER, no answer. I texted Kyle. He replied 2 hours later. "Rebecca's slammed at work. Let us know when you're discharged." That was it. No visit. No offer to pick me up. Nothing. I ended up leaning on my neighbor, Sheila, who drove me home and picked up my meds. I healed alone. I started to feel like a burden. I didn't want to believe it, but something had changed. Still, I kept giving. On her birthday, I gave her $5,000 to help with their kitchen remodel. They needed new cabinets, she said. I was still trying to buy back the closeness we used to have. About a month ago, Rebecca called and asked if I wanted to move in with them just for a little while. My apartment lease was ending, and rent had gone up. The AC was unreliable. I was tired. I said yes. That first week, I stayed in the guest room. I cleaned up after myself. I cooked for them. I folded laundry and swept the floors. I thought maybe, just maybe, I was back in the circle. Then I heard it. It was a Thursday night. I had just finished loading the dishwasher and went to my room. I realized I left my water glass in the kitchen, so I came back quietly. That's when I heard them. They were at the kitchen island, laptop open. Rebecca, she's holding us back. Retirement homes are a thing for a reason. Kyle, sell her jewelry. Use that for the down payment. They laughed. Like I was some stupid old woman standing in their way. Like I wasn't the reason they had a house at all. I didn't say anything. I backed out and went to my room. I sat on the bed for over an hour. I didn't cry. I just felt cold, hollow. And then I remembered something. The house. The deed. They never changed it. My name was still on it, equal ownership. They thought I was some feeble old fool, but I wasn't. I just hadn't needed to use the power I had. Until now. The next morning, I made a call. Carlos used to be married to my cousin. He's a notary and knows real estate law better than most. I hadn't spoken to him in 5 years, but when I explained everything, he said one thing. You still have control. You just have to move fast and quiet. He came by the next day. I had the paperwork ready. We notarized it in the backyard while Kyle was at work and Rebecca was at her yoga class. 2 days later, everything was filed. Legally. That night, I made them dinner. Roast chicken, green beans, mashed potatoes. They barely said thank you. Just scrolled on their phones while I cleaned up. I dried my hands, grabbed the envelope, walked over and laid it in front of them. Thought you might want to see this, I said. Rebecca opened it. Her face went pale. What is this? She whispered. The new deed, I said. I signed the house over to someone else. To who? Kyle said, his voice shaking. I looked at him. To me. I turned and went back to washing the dishes. Rebecca didn't say anything at first. She just stared at the paper in her hand like it was written in a different language. Kyle leaned in, took it from her, and started flipping through the pages like he thought he'd find a mistake. You can't just do this, he said, his voice rising. I didn't just do anything, I said, drying a plate. I've had joint ownership since you bought the place. You just forgot. Rebecca stood up. Why would you do this? She asked. We let you live here. We were helping you. I looked at her. Really looked. This was my daughter. The same little girl I used to rock to sleep during thunderstorms. The same girl who used to hold my hand when we crossed the street. But I didn't see any of that now. I saw someone who looked at me like I was a leftover chore. You were planning to put me in a home, I said. I heard you. I heard both of you. Kyle's face dropped. Rebecca looked at him, then at me, then tried to backpedal. That wasn't serious, she said. We were just venting. You're twisting things. Sell her jewelry. I repeated, looking straight at Kyle. That wasn't venting. That was a plan. He stood up and slammed his chair back. This is insane. You can't hijack the house just because you're mad. I can, I said. And I did. The room got quiet. I walked out and left them at the table. I could feel their stares on my back. That night, they didn't talk to me. The next morning, Rebecca acted like nothing happened. She asked if I wanted coffee. I said no. Kyle left early, without saying a word. By the third day, they were back to whispering. I could hear them behind closed doors, arguing. She was crying. He was cursing. Once, I walked past the guest bathroom and heard him punching the wall. I didn't care. I stayed calm. I did my laundry. I read my book. I cooked my meals and left theirs alone. Then Kyle started locking the fridge. Literally. He put a padlock on the handles and didn't tell me the code. I came downstairs to make breakfast and found it sealed shut. I opened the pantry and found it empty. The only food left was in my bedroom mini fridge. He had taken everything else. Rebecca came down, saw me trying to open it, and froze. What is this? I asked. I don't know, she said quickly. I'll talk to him. She never did. 2 days later, my phone charger went missing. Then my toothpaste. Then my laundry detergent. I'd find my clothes still wet in the washer with their towels dumped on top. My bedroom door creaked open one night at 1 a.m. Someone just standing there in the dark. I pretended to be asleep. They left. I started locking my door. It was a game now. A slow push to get me out. I called Carlos again. Asked him to check the fine print. He told me I still had legal rights. I could force a sale of the house if I wanted. You want to go nuclear? He asked. Not yet, I said. Let's see how ugly they want to make it. The next day, Kyle left a printed list of local retirement homes on the kitchen table. Circled 2 of them in red marker. Wrote good ratings beside one. I didn't touch it. I just left it there. Then Rebecca crossed a line. I had gone to the library to print some documents and check the mail. I was gone 2 hours. When I came back, my jewelry box was missing.
Gone.
Not a word. I confronted her while Kyle was at work. Where is it? She looked me dead in the eye. I don't know what you're talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The gold bracelet from your grandmother. The locket I wore at your wedding. Gone. She didn't blink. I think maybe you misplaced it, she said. You're getting older. It happens. That was it. That was the moment. She could insult me. She could ghost me. She could even scheme behind my back. But to steal from me and gaslight me? She didn't know it yet, but she had just made a very expensive mistake. 2 days after the jewelry went missing, I got a call from my bank. Hi, Mrs. Moreno, the woman said, polite but concerned. We're just confirming a recent attempt to open a joint checking account using your information. Can you verify if you approved this? I felt my stomach drop.
No.
I did not. The bank froze the request. They gave me the IP address from where the application was made, same zip code as the house. Same Wi-Fi network. I knew exactly what that meant. I didn't confront them right away. I needed proof. I went to Best Buy and bought a basic nanny cam, looks like a smoke detector. I installed it in the hallway outside my room while they were out getting groceries. I also put one in the living room behind a photo frame. I gave it 48 hours. What I got made me sick. Kyle had been going into my room while I was asleep. He'd open my dresser drawers, look through my folders, take pictures of my old tax returns. One night, he even pulled out my handbag and took a credit card photo before quietly slipping out. I downloaded everything, put it on a USB, locked it in the glove compartment of my car. The same night I found all this, I made another quiet call. Carlos put me in touch with a lawyer, Beth Myers in Dallas. She was sharp, smart, and didn't ask unnecessary questions. Do you want to press charges? She asked me after reviewing everything. Not yet, I said. I want control. I want them to know I could, at any time. She helped me file a cease and desist for attempted financial fraud and identity theft. She said the letter would arrive by certified mail in 2 days. I told her to send it to Kyle's name only. I wanted Rebecca to ask him what it was about. The next twist came faster than I expected. That weekend, while I was drinking coffee in the backyard, Kyle stormed outside, waving the letter. What the hell is this? He shouted. You're accusing me of fraud now. I'm not accusing, I said. I have proof. You want to see yourself on video?
He stopped.
Just stared at me. Rebecca came running outside, grabbing his arm. What's going on? She set me up, he said, turning to her. She's spying on us. No, I said, standing slowly. I'm protecting myself. From people I let live in a house I paid for, who steal from me and try to destroy my credit. You're insane, he said. You need help. I laughed. Cold and quiet. Maybe. But I'm not the one committing felonies in my sleep. He didn't have a comeback. That night, I slept with a chair under the door handle. The next twist didn't come from them. It came from someone else. Rebecca's old friend Jenna reached out. We hadn't talked in years. She was always sweet to me, even as a teenager. She messaged me on Facebook. Hey, Mrs. Moreno. This is awkward, but I thought you should know. Kyle's been DMing one of my friends, asking to hang out. saying his marriage is stressful. Your name came up in a not-so-nice way. I asked for screenshots. She sent them. He called me dead weight. Said I was blackmailing him with paperwork and that I needed to die in a home so we can get our lives back. That did something to me. A new kind of hurt. A deeper betrayal. He wasn't just greedy. He was vicious. And my daughter either didn't see it or didn't care. I didn't tell her. Not yet. I wanted to see if she'd figure it out on her own. Or if she'd go down with him. 1 week later, I had my answer. I came home from a doctor's appointment to find Rebecca sitting at the kitchen table with a laptop. She was crying. I saw the messages, she said. Jenna showed me. I stood there.
Quiet.
Why didn't you tell me? She asked. Would it have made a difference? I asked back. She didn't answer. Then she said something that pissed me off more than anything else so far. I didn't think you'd be this spiteful. Spiteful. After everything I'd given her. After everything they'd done. I was the problem. She looked at me like I was a stranger. Like I was just some old obstacle in the way of the life she thought she deserved. That night, I packed a bag and drove to a Motel 6 off 75. Not because I was scared, but because I needed space to finish what I was about to do. They didn't know it yet, but the house wouldn't be theirs much longer. The revenge was coming. I stayed at that Motel 6 for 3 nights. Cheap sheets, buzzing lights, paper-thin walls. I didn't care. I wasn't there to rest. I was planning. Carlos helped me finish the paperwork to file a petition action. It's a legal move. When there are multiple owners on a home and they don't agree, any one of them can force a sale, even if the others don't want to. The court steps in and makes it happen. I filed it. Cal got the notice first. According to Carlos, he came home from work and threw the envelope across the driveway. I imagine Rebecca found it later, saw my signature at the bottom, and finally understood. This wasn't a game anymore. They tried to stop it. Hired a lawyer. Filed objections. But the judge saw the deed, saw the bank records, and saw all the evidence I had saved. Videos, screenshots, the bank fraud attempt, even the social media messages where Kyle called me a roach squatting in our life. Their lawyer tried to say I was unstable and emotionally manipulating the situation. My lawyer just handed the judge a flash drive. The judge didn't say much. He set the court-supervised sale in motion. 60 days. Rebecca tried calling. Left voicemails. Long ones. Apologizing, crying, blaming Kyle, begging me to call it off. I didn't answer. Kyle sent one text. You'll die alone. I screenshotted it, added it to the court file. The house went on the market 2 weeks later. It sold fast, bidding war, multiple offers. The market in McKinney was still hot. It sold for $635,000. After closing costs and the mortgage payoff, the remaining balance was split 3 ways. Kyle and Rebecca got $151,000 each. I got $151,000, and I kept the $90,000 equity I had already put in. So really, I walked away with $241,000. They had to move out 30 days after the closing. I didn't go by. I didn't need to see it. But Sheila, my old neighbor, drove by that day. She sent me a photo. Rebecca was on the porch with her head in her hands. Kyle was loading garbage bags into a rented U-Haul. No moves. No help. They had nowhere to go. She messaged me once more. I'm so sorry. I see everything now. I was wrong. You were always there for me, and I let him turn me against you. Please talk to me. I miss you. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I deleted it. Because the truth is, I was always there for her. Through everything. I gave her love, safety, money, time, and my future. And when I finally needed something small in return, just decency, she sold me out for convenience. I didn't hate her. Not fully. But I didn't trust her anymore. And trust doesn't grow back after it's been buried under greed. So I moved on. I used the money to buy myself a small 1-bedroom condo in Garland. Paid in cash. No mortgage, no roommates, no whispers behind closed doors. I keep the place clean. I make my own food. I walk every morning and read every night. Sometimes I think about what happened. The nights I cried over old photos. The way my daughter's voice sounded when she said, "You're holding us back." I used to think revenge was about destroying someone else. But now I know it's about taking your power back. And I did. They lost the house. They lost their safety net. They lost me. That was the price. And I paid in full.